A very good afternoon, good morning, welcome everybody. Apologies for the delay. Just had something breaking as we came on. Joshua, hey Ryan, good to see you both. Right, okay. So let's get stuck into the session. Now, we have had a mixed bag in the earnings that we've just had released. Tesla, sorry, I was missing my camera. I think I am here somewhere. There I am. Tesla missed on its earnings and it's under pressure. But there's been a number of mixed headlines coming out. So there's been some positive tech news that the US administration is going to be purchasing a number of products from a few tech companies. That's been really boosting sentiment. I'm just trying to find the names of them. Quantum computing, yeah, it's IonQ, Rigetti, D-Wave Quantum. They're all going to see the US administration take equity stakes in these quantum computing firms. So, that's broadly positive for sentiment. And the earnings data that we've got some big names still to come. American Airlines Group, the losses weren't as bad as expected. And later on, after the close, we've got big names again. We got, hang on, let's just refresh that page. We've got Intel coming up and Ford anyway after the close. The kind of broad feel on equity markets, it's that sort of quite cagey. If you just look at the S&P 500, it sort of shows you where we're at. Is that, price fell off yesterday. We found dip buyers off the nose of that candle there, which is kind of what we were sort of expecting yesterday, if you remember. Which is like dip buyers are kind of around, but they haven't got enough confidence to just stand and take it higher. And we've got the US CPI print coming tomorrow. So, it's going to be really interesting what happens here. The expectations are key. So I'm just going to share with you the expectations. Take a screenshot of this, folks, because this is what to look for tomorrow. Right now, the best kind of opportunity is if we see hot inflation, right? So what we're looking for, month on month, 0.6% or higher. Headline, we want that coming in 3.3% or higher. Core, 0.5% or higher. And the core year on year, 3.3% or higher. If we get that, then look for extra dollar strength. And remember, at the moment, the Fed are looking at 2 interest rate cuts this year. So 2 interest rate cuts are expected this year. But if the inflation headline starts coming in above 3.3%, then you might start to see one of those interest rate cuts getting priced out. So, don't be surprised at that. And that would be a good opportunity for gold selling because you see dollar strength. So that'd be one for Brian. All right, gold selling. And you'd expect about sort of, 30, 40 minutes of solid selling. That's what you'd expect roughly on that kind of situation. That's what you need to be looking for. You can always look at euro dollar selling. Dollar yen upside would be fine as well. I think I prefer euro dollar selling, but that's roughly what you to be looking for, right, as we head into the session, right? If we see weaker inflation, then expect euro dollar buying, gold buying at market. But this is the best opportunity here. What we're looking for is if we get really, really, really big kind of drop there. That's what we're going to be looking for, okay? Hot inflation is the best opportunity. So that's going to be the focus for tomorrow. So make sure you've got a screenshot of that if you haven't got it. And then I'll get rid of that. And so I think the best way I've heard describe what's going on at the moment is that earnings are fine. They're resilient. The US economy is doing fine. But even though there's enough for equity markets to go higher, right? They're not going higher. And it's the idea there's a bit of froth just coming off the top.
Just to alert you that Kuwait's oil minister currently speaking on crude markets at the moment. He expects crude prices to rise after the US sanctions on Russian companies.
Right.
And just while we're checking in on crude, it's just worth noting crude futures for both WTI and Brent for December delivery, both at session highs or slightly off following that Reuters report. A Chinese state oil major oil firms suspending Russian seaborne purchases due to concerns around.
Yes, it will, Hassan. The Bureau for Labour Statistics are due to release that. Okay, that is meant to be happening. You take a look here at the oil markets, it's this headline that just came as we broke. Chinese state oil majors suspend seaborne Russian oil purchases due to worries related to Western sanctions. Right, so we're having upside in oil. There's also comments from Trump last night on Russian oil suppliers getting sanctions. Right, so that's impacting oil markets, and we're seeing a nice bit of upside in oil. Nothing I'm chasing. You know, the higher this goes, I'm expecting sellers to come in at some point here. So definitely worth looking at for potential selling opportunities if those issues pass, and if there is a peace between Russia and Ukraine, then oil selling would be a really good opportunity. So then we're looking at the dollar. It's pretty much just kind of range bound. The dollar yen has hit profit target overnight. So that was the, where was it? Let's see if I've got it here. I haven't got the right chart here, but that was the hammer reversal bar just moving up here into the 152.50. So that hit profit overnight. The euro pound long that I had, I just closed that out at break even last night, just as we were sort of hovering around that area. We have found dip buys subsequently, but I just closed that out at break even yesterday. And the pound dollar short, that I didn't take that, which did gently move in our direction. So now it's more kind of like cagey day. We've got the CPI data tomorrow. Ranges are quite tight, so I'm not expecting necessarily much. I'm expecting the same kind of things in equity markets, which, you know, we might find sellers from higher moves higher. Deeper dips, I'd expect that we would get sellers. So I'm keeping it flexible with this. Now let's have a look. So it's a day when I think we want to be flexible in what the data's showing us. If you look at the hourly chart, right, there were some pretty pronounced moves last night after we finished, and that was on the news that President Trump was going to use some extra sanctions against China if they didn't backtrack their rare earth policy. So it was basically Trump saying if China doesn't back away from this rare earth policy, then they're going to restrict exports on US goods, or on goods to China that have US software products in them, right? So that sent markets tumbling, and they were dip buying, right? So there was good dip buying opportunities like on that into candle from this drop down here. Where is it? To that nose of that candle here. You see that? That's often when you get great dip buying opportunity, when you retrace to those kind of areas there. Now, technically, in the big picture, we are holding the trend line. So it wouldn't be surprised if we just meander our way back up higher. Underneath these lows, then we're going to start to move back down this way. It's really, you know, a coin toss whichever way we go. On balance, volume is moving lower, but we've got to be flexible. Either we're carrying on up this way, could be a narrow range, or it is further down, we're going that way. So that's my kind of hypothesis for the day. It's one of the twos, and that trend line is kind of the borderline point. Looking at the time price opportunity, you can see we are in this value area low. We've also got this 200 exponential moving average just sitting underneath price. And although we dropped here sharply lower, you can see that we've just pulled, looking at a potential short from this area. You can see it's been quite strong the way we've moved up there. It had a little sell off that region, and now it's like the market's trying to build back above that level, right? And then we can potentially look at retesting those highs. So we'll have to see where we go, but I'm keeping flexible with the two options here. So on the hourly chart, we got buyers here, big sellers here. We got this value area low, which we've just moved into, that value high rather from last week. So we're trying to find some support there, right? So it's a good area for potential support. The 15-minute chart, we've seen buyers come in and trap those sellers, but if you look at the delta, it is still negative, and we are about 2,000-3,000 contracts negative from the open. There is a lot more rhetoric going around about trauma with China and the US, tariffs, counter tariffs. It's definitely the pressure's increased. So just to be aware of that, got to have the squawk on today, and there could be opportunities just to quickly trade on squawk-based news. So that's definitely worth looking for as we go through the session. So in terms of what we're looking for, we've got to go underneath this value area to go lower. No, I wasn't aiming for oil. I'm not in it, but if I was in it, Najam.
Just a bit more energy market commentary from Kuwait's oil minister. He sees signs that oil demand is shifting towards the Gulf and the Middle East.
I mean, it's got to, it's got to shift. It's got to sit above this level, hasn't it? So it's got a big supply level. It's just sort of coming into. It's trying to take that supply out. Is it sure if it goes up this way, then you could get a move lower, but eventually I'm expecting at some point back down, and it goes higher and then back down lower. So I just think that's a reasonable area to target for oil, because you got this, resistance. Do you see what I mean? And I'm expecting it to sell off anyway. I know we've had the positive news, but we're late to the party. I'm late to the party anyway for that, so I'm waiting. That's my take on it, and I'd actually rather sell it from this region, if anything. So I'd rather sell. In fact, that's not a bad idea, selling on some kind of momentum, but it's more of a longer term picture. So looking back at the 15, what I'm looking for is either way here. So if I can get either way of that side, got the hour here, 15, I want to see those sellers taken out. Those sellers taken out at the open, then it's looking for a run up to the high. That'd be absolutely fine. Don't have a problem with that. Otherwise, I'll need to be taking these buyers getting taken out and then looking for a run lower. So it's either above, go up to the 6747, or below and going down to the 6714. I'm just trying to see if there's anything big here that stands out. The biggest buyers are up here, 6740. So, you might, the buyers that got trapped earlier, so possibly selling there, but really you look like we're trying to base here. And then it's these sellers getting trapped here is going to be important, which you can see again, kind of got above, trying to push above. So push above this level is the level that's standing out to me. And these buyers here, these buyers were trapped, right, last night. As these broke down, those buyers capitulated. We've had a retracement up to that level in the morning, and now that sell-off's gone, and now we're trying to base here, I think. That's my take on it. And also, we have got the balance there as well, the opening balance, inside balance. Let's just get rid of that. Just here. Price broke down through that, tested the inside balance, moved lower. All right, folks. Right, let's have a look at the open here. Here we go. So 15 minute trying to break above here. So basically 5 minute above this level will be the buying opportunity. Now I'm tempted to buy in a position here. Let's have a look. Tempted to buy in at the open here. Right, how long we got? 307. If we close above, I'm going to buy in at this. Right, I'm bought in one position. It is early, but this looks like it's going to try and break out early. And I've got another one in as well. It's got that kind of feel, hasn't it? Just the micros. And I'll enter another position if I get closing above this high. That's the tricky thing is that when with the top and bottom, they need to be with 5% each other, the bottom or top bit, and the trough should be 10%. So that means it can be quite tricky sometimes when looking at it on not stock market chart.
They have been rising in recent traders. While a new high of the day has been printed just under 51.50, and a trading source notes that's not far off the high that we saw yesterday, 41.61. And remember, it did get capped out around about that sort of level.
38 second.
On gold futures at the moment.
Right. Okay. Entering. As long as when I get a confirmation, I'm entering in another one. 15. Hey. Right. I'm entering in. That's lovely. 15-minute break here. See if we can get up here to the 6747 is really want to go in. See if we can get above these highs. Delta. So I'm expecting buys to come in here. So I'm still holding those buys. Entered in another buy as we just test that VWAP. And let's see if buyers come in and trap those sellers. That's what's needed. So looking for buyers to come in here. Another position in. That's sort of confirming the direction. Okay, let's see if we can push above this standard deviation. That's what I want. Okay, that's good. Let's see if we get more buyers in. Right, sellers trying to come in there. Right, just taking profit. Right, I've taken profit against the standard deviation. How's everyone doing, folks? We okay? Right, so obviously break above these highs, could enter in again. But I'm just in case it stops there. Gonna jump, yeah. Yes, I'd like long. See, the thing is you see on the hourly, you've got these buyers that got trapped there. So we're just seeing a bit of resistance from them. The 15-minute is still good. 5-minute is still good. Just that standard deviation, just capping prices for now.